Hello everyone, my name is Manolis Sfinarolakis, the founder and creator of RealityCrowdTV, and welcome to RealityCrowdTV episode 27. The World Cup may be over, but athletic crowdfunding has just begun. We have two wonderful guests with us on the show, and before I introduce them, I'd like to just go over some housekeeping notes. If you'd like any information on who our guests are today, as well as their website, we would love you to check out the event copy or the YouTube copy, and you'll be able to check out their crowdfunding portal, venturefc.com. Additionally, we will also be having a Q&A, a live Q&A session, so if anyone who is watching has a question, if you follow the circle of RealityCrowdTV, you will be able to submit a question to either our guests or to myself on the show, and then we'll be able to answer those questions at the appropriate time. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce both of my guests. We have Tazveer, who is co-founder of venture.co.fc. And Tazveer, can you please introduce yourself?
Hey everyone, my name is Tazveer Khalili. I'm co-founder at VentureFC, and currently I'm on the social media. I'm handling the Twitter handle VentureFCT. Come check us out. Come talk to me.
Very cool. Well, thank you for joining us, Tazveer. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thanks for having me.
No worries. And so then we also have the founder of VentureFC, Hugo. And Hugo, can you please introduce yourself?
Sure, Manolis. First of all, let me thank you for having us on the show. You're doing a tremendous work on behalf of the crowdfunding community, and you really should have some praise about it. Introducing myself, I've worked in football here in Portugal for a couple of years. I was a CFO for a medium club in the Premiership. That's where I learned all the things about football and the negotiations in the market. I'm also an entrepreneur. I've launched several startups. I can say I have some proud in failing as well, because I learned so much when I failed. I had some average successes, so to speak, but Venture FC is a project of a lifetime, say. So it's me and Taz and the other guys on the team, Mac and Francisco, are really very positive about this idea, and we really want to make this happen.
Absolutely, Hugo. Just over the last month or so that we've known each other, I've seen the passion, I've seen the transformation of the website. You know, you got a new website out there, and you said something profound. Failures are the best learning opportunities, and they prepare you for the future successes. So thank you for the kind words, but I'm honestly very grateful for both of you being here. So you do have a presentation that I'd like to go through, but I'd actually like to hear a little bit of a personal. I want to ask you about the couch, actually, Hugo. Tell us about the couch behind you. It's a beautiful couch, and it seems like an interesting. It has an interesting story to it. So please tell us about the couch.
Yeah, it is. This was an old couch that my wife refurbished, this is the friend's couch. Everyone who gets to visit us gets a chance to paint something on the couch, as you can see, the fabric is white, just plain white, and there are some drawings, and people can paint any object that's here. So I think we are halfway to have the couch fully painted, and it's an awesome fun to just see our friends just painting the couch like they were little kids, and it's awesome. They have a great time when painting this.
Absolutely. Tazveer, have you had the opportunity yet to leave your mark on the couch?
Not yet. Hugo's in Portugal. I'm in Toronto, Canada. So, but when I get a chance, I'll definitely do it. Hugo, you got some really talented friends over there, drawing your couch. I couldn't do that.
Well, the drawings were already on the couch. They only painted, so.
Okay, so they're somewhat talented, somewhat.
Yeah. Credits go to my wife. She did a wonderful job on the couch.
Wonderful, wonderful. And actually, that's actually another interesting thing. So you're in Portugal, Hugo, and Tasvir is in Canada. So Tasvir, how did you meet? Hugo? How did you guys get connected and become co-founders?
So actually last August I signed up for the beta list on his website. He had a landing page on, and I signed up. A couple days later, he added me on LinkedIn. We had a talk, and we kind of connected that we're very similar. We have similar backgrounds in education. We are both economic majors. We're both interested in football from a business perspective, one, and we're also similar ideas on how companies should be run in soccer teams should be run. So we got connected, and I asked him if he needed some help because I knew I had experience in marketing and sales, and he did. And here we are.
Wow, great! And Hugo, you know, it's amazing. It's amazing how small the world is, and how, you know, it's no longer you have to look in your own backyard for co-founders. You could look anywhere in the world for a co-founder.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a beautiful story with you guys. I really enjoy that. So what we'll do right now is you sent me the presentation. So just let me know when you see it on my screen. I'm going to bring it up. And hopefully I would be able to share it. Do you guys see this?
Yeah, we see it. Yeah, perfect.
Perfect. So I will let you take the lead, either Tasvir or Hugo, whoever wants to go through it. But feel free to kind of just guide us down through this, and I'll move down the presentation on your cue.
Okay. Okay. This is the first page of our landing page, our new landing page, but it really does what we are looking for. If you are passionate for football as we are, and you want to invest in football, you don't have to be rich anymore. Venture FC is here to allow football fans, regular football fans, to invest in football players. Either you're a seasoned investor that you want to have some cash flow to invest in other players, or just want to get to know some deals you probably would miss because you're limited in your territory. For example, if you're from the US, you probably won't have any knowledge on markets like the Eastern Europe, Spain, or Portugal. So this is a way to join investors already in football. But on the other side, if you're just starting, you probably lack connections and knowledge like we had when we first started. So we want to have some helping points, helping tips to people who are starting, and then slowly get them to learn how to invest, where to look, what are the trends in the future. For example, a few years ago, if you invested in a left fullback, you will probably get a better return than, I don't know, holding midfielder or a winger, because left fullbacks are best left fullbacks are in extinction per se. So it's really we are really looking for the trends as well.
You know, Hugo, sorry, don't mean to interrupt, but just to kind of summarize that, because I just want to make sure I understand it. So what people are investing in is individual players on teams, or are they investing in the teams themselves?
They are investing in players individually. When you have a contract in football, there are two rights that arise immediately. The federative rights that gives the club the right to have that player to play in their team, but also the economic rights. The economic rights are the amount of money club is willing to let the player go when the contract, before the contract expires. When you see, I don't know, Manchester United bought is trying to well, Falcao from Atletico Madrid to Monaco. Price tag was 40 million euros. That was the price of the economic rights, and we are investing in that area, the economic rights.
Interesting. Okay. And so you have this diagram here, which kind of gives us a much clearer picture here. So
exactly, fans are disconnected from the game, and fans and clubs and players. The three of them have the money and run the business. So the solution that we have is to involve fans in a more productive way. Next slide, please. The solution, we want to be a hub between all the players in the market and to give football investors, fans, premium market access. Nowadays, if you want to invest in football, you have to be rich, millionaire, and you have to have connections. So we have the connections, we have the knowledge, we want to give football fans the access to that market. And
wow.
for the ER owners, cash flow can represent a big thing, because money is a limited resource, and if you want to invest in the next player, you have to sell the others you have. So PR owners can log into our platform and try to sell their PR rights to a fellow investor or to us or whatever that presented to him.
Wow. And so let me just kind of understand it, because I know in you guys are out of Portugal and you're international, because you know internationally football is synonymous with soccer here in the U.S. So from the cash flow perspective, they're not necessarily buying shares in a corporation. They're buying rights in a player's future revenue streams. Is that right?
Not revenue streams from the player, from the transfer of that player. A good example is Fentex. Fentex, as you probably know, it's they are doing crowdfunding, but they are working in the revenues of the football players, the individual revenues per se. We are working on the transfer rights. When the player is transferred, we collect our return. And that's it.
Okay. So let's say you bought a certain rights in a player's future revenue. You aren't going to earn, let's say, a monthly paycheck from that, but
No.
you know the value of that player, let's say over time, they start out as a rookie, and then 3 years later they're a superstar. When you sell that, that's where you're going to make the money?
Yeah. Let me give you a perfect example. Neymar, from former player of Santos and now Barcelona, in February 2009, his market value was around 1 million euros. When it was sold in July 13, his market value was 50 million euros. If you invested in 2009 1,000 euros, you would collect a return about 50,000 euros. Because it was.
So Interesting. So let me ask another question, and I'm just asking because I'm curious. This is making me a little bit excited, so I'm just trying to understand it better. What if you buy a rookie who turns into the next Pele, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he is worth 50 million, but what if he retires? Does the value of that player go to zero if you don't sell it before they retire? Like, doesn't the value eventually go down to zero if they stop playing?
Yeah, that's the business here.
So that's the biggest risk in this model is once they stop and you still hold the stock, then it's the value is not necessarily anything at that point, right?
Yeah, because our revenue stream comes from the transfer. Every time the player is transferred, we get the chance to cash in and collect the return. We might not want to cash in on the first transfer because we believe the player will be worth way more in 2 years, for example, and wait for a second or third transfer.
Okay, interesting. So let me ask one more question because this is getting really interesting. So you're saying that this has been happening, but only the rich people were allowed to had the resources to invest in these players, and each time a transfer occurs, when a player goes from one team to another, if these initial investors were lucky enough to have a player transfer to another team for much higher than they initially invested, there's actual real cash being exchanged, and they're actually getting paid out in that respect. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, but additionally, you're also providing a market, it seems, because maybe someone has held on to the next Pele for 10 years, but he just has never transferred. So he might just say, listen, I don't know if he'll ever transfer before he retires. I'm just going to sell my rights to you right now, and then you could take the risk to see if he ever transfers in the future. Is that also happening?
That can happen, but I don't think it will happen. Theoretically speaking, it can happen, but I don't think that will happen in real life.
Yeah, because you'd be talking about a secondary market essentially, just like the stock market, where it fluctuates based on that. But yeah, but maybe the risk is too much for people to want to even do that. Who knows?
Yeah, our target is our players between 16 and 20, 21 years old. Apart from that, I'm talking about players with, I don't know, 25, 26 years old. There's not much transfer revenue to look for.
Okay, so if you're an investor in your platform and you're looking to invest in a player, they're 16 to 21 years old, and essentially what you're saying to yourself is, I want to invest in this player because I think he's going to be great and I think he's going to be traded eventually. So if I invest $100 now, I'm betting that in 3 years he'll be traded to some other team, and that $100 might turn into $1,000.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. You know what? Maybe we just verbally explained how it works, but you can keep going. Yeah.
Tez, do you want to pick it up from here?
Yeah, let's pick up from here. Yeah.
No, go ahead. I can't even see the thing right now.
Okay.
Handle it.
Essentially, what we are doing is we want to scout the world with our scouting team to look for really, really good players. You won't see average players or good players on the platform, or at least we will try not to. We really want players who can outstand from the crowd. And to do that, we have several partnerships lined up with data analytics, scouting networks, and video performances from the players to deliver enough data for people to decide whether to invest or not. And we will handle the negotiation from one side to the other, and try to get the best deal for everyone. And when the player is sold, we will collect everyone's return and then divide from all of them to their accounts. Basically,
interesting. And let me ask you a question, because I'm specifically looking at after the scouting and partnerships. I'm looking at this stage. This seems interesting to me. So, Club X sells player X's economic rights to Venture FC. So, for you guys, are you going to? Do you have to put up that money up front to buy it from Club X, or are you going to crowdfund it and Club X will allow you to crowdfund those rights instead of you coming up with the lump sum initially? How is that going to work?
There are two options available. Either it really depends on the club. He wants to get on the platform and get the player crowdfunded, or the other option is also available. You can put up front the lump sum and then crowdfund the.
Interesting. Yeah, interesting.
Either way, it will be a crowdfunding platform or system.
You know, in a way, this is a very interesting model. I mean, from what I see in different areas of crowdfunding, there's the model that works really well in real estate, and it might work well here. If Venture FC does have a pool of resources, and they really see a huge benefit in one of the players, you guys might want to buy it directly from Club X and then crowdfund it after, just because there might be a lot of competition, and the crowdfunding might take a little while.
Yeah.
So you know, I guess it kind of depends on a strategic basis. If it's a really hot player, you guys might say, listen, our community, is going to want this guy. We need to make sure we get him first. Then we'll kind of, exchange it to the the other guys. Yeah.
You're essentially right, and that's where like the statistics and the data actually come in. So that way we can actually point out, oh, this player is going to be the future, and this player is not, and so we can really like cherry pick to a certain degree of what players we go after.
And you know what? So I see names here: Global Scouting Unlimited, 11 Once, and KickDex. Are these guys basically analytics platforms for youth sports? Is that what they do?
Global Scouting Unlimited is a scouting network that delivers reports on a request basis. Onche, gives you the performance of any player of any team on a beautiful iPad app. And KickDex, it's trying to. It's not Moneyball for soccer or football, but they want to deliver indexes for football. It's very difficult in football to get the correct value to any player. It really depends if he's scoring or performing well, or if the team is performing well as well. So it's a wide array of factors that can limit value or surplus.
Okay.
Yeah. Essentially, KickDex is more like using statistics of the player's performance to determine their transfer value.
Yeah.
Very interesting. And actually, if you guys are looking for partners in this arena, I know someone. You guys might want to just write down the website, scoutsviewsports.com. They're really trying to. I can introduce you directly to their founder and CEO, because they might be doing some things that they'd want to partner with you guys, and you guys want to partner with them. So I'll introduce you to them. Very cool.
Next slide, please, Manolis.
At the slide after the product?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of lost you. I don't have any picture.
Oh, sorry. The market opportunity. Do you see it yet or no?
Yeah, market opportunity. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, go ahead.
That's the football is the #1 sport in the world. we took some statistics, some analytics from the previous World Cup, not this one, one in Africa, South Africa, and on the day of the final, audiences rose up to 500 million users. So we really want we really think that's a huge market with a lot of potential, and so we are really going to cap this.
Yeah, it's a huge market, absolutely.
And another part of that slide is that it's actually getting bigger. It's with financial fair play coming into Europe for a lot of teams, like getting third-party ownership with a lot of players is going to be one of the best ways for them to get new players now, so that they don't get hit on their finances. So it's actually a much bigger market, and it's going to be bigger as years go by.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually the U.S. is gonna try to actually be good at soccer, so it'll grow a little bit more.
They were better this World Cup, so you're getting your things really well.
Yeah, we're trying. We're trying to compete against you guys, against the likes of Portugal and everyone else. It's tough. But
they almost beat Portugal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, that's true.
Sorry, Hugo.
Oh, we deserved it. So
Yeah.
we got what we deserved. So it's plain and simple.
Well, also, by the way, the only thing that I could say as a Greek, we beat you in the Euro Cup in 2004.
Come on, Manolis.
Don't rub it in.
I'm sorry. I have to bring it up.
Years ago, believe it.
Oh man.
Come on.
I still remember the picture. Yeah, go ahead.
Every time I meet or someone from Portugal meets someone from Greece, the first thing is, we beat you guys in 2004.
I still remember the picture of Cristiano Ronaldo after the final game, him just crying. And I just imagine that's what like every single Portuguese citizen was like.
It was such a big disappointment.
You know what? To be fair, Hugo, I mean, we don't have much else to celebrate lately, so that's why we keep living in the past.
Might as well.
Yeah.
So,
about the business model, we have. Sorry, just lost the image again.
Oh, sorry. Do you see it now?
Not yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Tazvir, can you see it?
Yeah.
No, I cannot.
Okay,
I'm
let me.
now. Yeah. I was saying the business model it's pretty simple. We have fees from the ER owners and fees from the users on the platform.
Oh, Hugo,
either.
sorry to interrupt. I actually just want to make sure. I just want to say one disclaimer. This is not an investment opportunity right now. This is just a simulation of what one would look like. This is educational. There is no investment being offered here. I just want to make sure I make that disclaimer because just looking at it kind of looks like it, but this is just a simulation of what would happen in the future, but there's no investment opportunity being offered here.
Exactly. For example, Portuguese winger valued at 400,000 euros. We don't want to have a big share of the economic rights because we're not agents. We are investors. Of course, we are going to take care of our investment, but we don't want to take care of anything else because we don't have the time or the expertise to do so. So, being an investor means you have to spread the risk in as many players as you have. So 10% in each player seems to be an interesting share for now. So the player is valued at 400,000, as I said. We are charging the ER owners to be on the platform a 5% fee on the transfer, on a future transfer, not now, not in the present. And then our users will be charged 5% on when they invest, and 10% on the when the success fee when the transfer occurs. It's basically like that. We have a second example with a Brazilian player, almost the same age, but a much higher value. The success fee we are having, it's 10%, like you can see on top on mid right. We get 10% of the fee collected from the users on investment. So if they have if we have 4 million euros return, we collect the 10% out of that. People get the other 90%.
Wow, excellent.
Yes, we were thinking it's really important to have unfair advantages towards the competition. We have yet to see anyone doing the same as we are, but I'm sure I've known people who have the same idea a few years ago, but decided not to go forward with it, and others just gave up. But I'm sure almost any football fan thought about this, and I really want to stress that the team is far more important than the other stuff.
Yeah.
We have people very good at creating startups, executing the idea, and selling, exiting with either an IPO or selling the idea to another to a competitor or to anyone else. We have very deep connections in football, so we really think we have the perfect match between startups and football. That's what makes the project successful.
Absolutely. And Hugo, I'm going to have to ask you to take that picture down of me. That's I didn't give you permission to put me on your slides.
I'm sorry, I just forgot.
No worries.
Here you can see the competition, and you can go back to my initial initial slides. If you want to be in football, to invest in football, you have to be rich.
Yeah.
So there's a few examples. The fund from Benfica here in Portugal, it's a very low entrance budget, but you have to love the club. You have to support the club. It's like you're from you support Manchester United, right, Tazver? And
yeah.
You're not going to buy shares in the City investment fund. That's why that's why the low entrance fee for the Benfica fund. But it doesn't help if you have the money. Only have the money. You have to have the connections. Either you know someone or you're invited to. It doesn't help knocking on the door and ask to invest in that fund.
So
and we are starting with 50 euros. If you have 50 euros, you can invest in any player we have on the platform.
wow, and so let me ask you a question. So Venture FC not only is a crowdfunding platform, but you are a fund. You essentially are considered a fund as well, but you're the fund for the people.
Essentially. Because you can look at it like at 50 euros, you can like almost everyone's got that if you can pay that. But look at Benfica, you have 15,000, and if you look at Royal Football, 360,000. You eliminate an entire market when you put those type of minimum investments. And while you can immediately get into the action when you come with us.
Man, you know what you're doing, and I was, you know, this is just flickering some amazing opportunities for you guys. You are taking the fantasy away from fantasy football. You're actually allowing people to actually be intricately involved with the players. It's no longer fantasy. When you select a player to invest in, you have a vested interest in that player. You know, you're taking fantasy football and you're mixing crowdfunding with it, and you're actually creating now you're part of the game. Now it's like kind of here in the U.S. the Kentucky Derby. You have people who own the horses. You're essentially owning the football players. You're almost like, yeah, you're an owner.
Yeah, essentially. It's the closest that, for example, me, I was never that good at soccer, but this is now the closest I'll ever get to being on Old Trafford in Manchester United. I can almost be there. This is the closest most people will ever get to being on the soccer pitch.
Manolis, let me stress one thing that's very important. We don't own the players. We own a share on a future transfer.
Yes, yeah, sorry, yeah. Oh, yeah, but it wouldn't, yeah. We're not going back to the days of slavery. Sorry about
that. Exactly. That was my point.
Yeah, so we don't, yeah, so like the difference between us as like profiting from the economic rights versus the agents, I think Hugo stressed that before. Agents can influence where the player eventually goes and plays. He'll advise the player. We don't have any advisement. We don't choose where the player goes. We have no influence on that. We only make money if the player gets transferred, but we don't influence the transfer. That's a big distinction that we need to make.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, you guys aren't involved in how transfers happen. You guys are a complete so there's no inside information per se here. You know, like you as the fund do not provide inside information to people who own the rights. It's just a completely democratic platform. It's there's no foul play where someone knows more than another person unless they went out on their own and found that out for themselves.
Exactly, and we want to be regulated by the FCA or the SEC or the equivalent SEC equivalent, because our fund, our investment fund, we want to be regulated as to boost credibility and confidence on our platform. We could create the fund on an offshore like Cayman Island or whatever, but we want to be as transparent as possible because we really want to change football, something in football, and that is transparency. We want to have more transparency, and this is our initial step to change that. Our fund will be audited and regulated by any authority, and that will be that's a cornerstone for us.
Wow. I must say, you guys are extremely impressive. The concept is incredible, and as you mentioned, you know, I'm sure people have thought of it, but you guys are actually executing on it, and being the first movers is an incredible advantage.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt, we get to like find out the players first, and most people will eventually associate economic rights crowdfunding with us.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and so the wow. So so let's talk about what your greatest challenges are right now. As a startup, I guess I'll ask Tazvir first, then I'll ask Hugo. What is your guys' greatest challenge currently with your startup? What do you need help with? Kind of where is the kind of hardest spot right now?
So for me, on my side of the marketing, was at the very beginning, I was having trouble finding who our target audience was. essentially. So if you look back at our tweets like from like January and December, like they were kind of all over the place. I was trying to hit a whole bunch of different things. What we finally figured out was that we needed to focus on the business side of it. That's what most people are interested in. This is exactly we're looking at investors who only have a limited amount of money to invest in. So we kind of figured that out, and what we're trying to push forward is to find more PR, find more people to talk about this, to like shows like this one, and to further that along, to get more people signed up on our website.
Great, and same question for you, Hugo.
Mm-hmm. I think it's our main obstacle is the regulatory activities. This is a brand new structure being created and being built, and the authorities are not aware of either the potential or implications of what might happen when this is launched. So they are, I don't know, few years behind us, and they are afraid of innovation, just like Uber is having in Europe, with a lot of problems with the old school markets or distributors. I don't think we can have a very good authority, regulatory authority, to understand what we are trying to build. But we are working very closely with them just to find a great match between what they want us to deliver and what we want to deliver to our users in our community. So I think it's regulatory. And when I started 1 year ago, I was all alone, and putting up the team, and Tazir is smiling because he knows what we've been through. Putting up the team, the right team at the right time. It was very fun to do, but it was really hard. And that's it. Regulatory activity and getting the right people to execute.
Absolutely.
And one thing that I remember, we don't have, every startup, or almost all startups, fail because people are afraid to fail. And here in Venture FC, we are constantly thinking about things that can work or not, but we are going to test them first, because we can't have the fear to fail. It's not on our dictionary, and it's very comfortable to be in a zone that you're not tested every day. But if you do that, you won't achieve greatness. And if I can get a message through all the entrepreneurs that are listening to us and watching us, don't be afraid to fail. It's better to fail than not knowing what might happen if you push forward in your idea.
Hugo, you struck a chord with me personally, and I mean, I will tell you that in 2 prior ventures that I had personally, the fear of failure was the reason I failed.
Yeah.
It was the absolute reason I failed, because when times got really tough,
Mm-hmm.
you know, first the fear of financial failure crept in, then the fear of not having food to eat crept in, and you know, suddenly you just have all these thoughts that, oh my God, I'm going to be a loser. Everyone's going to look at me like I'm like, oh, I failed, this and that.
Yeah.
But what I should have been thinking was, how do I bring business in, and how do I move this forward? The fear of failure paralyzed me, and as it paralyzes many people in the world,
yeah.
and right at the time when it gets tough is right when you should be focusing on solutions. But when you focus on that fear, that's all you do. And frankly, you just start saying, I got to look for a job because this isn't going to work. You immediately give up. You don't. Your mind shuts off to finding solutions, and instead it comes up and saying, I got to find a job because I'm afraid of the consequences here. So, you know, personally, what I, you know, and maybe you did this too, I know that I did, but when we started Reality Crowd TV, and just share with me this how you did it, I asked myself when I left my job at the Hartford Insurance Company, I asked myself, and I prepared myself for about a month or two, I said, what's the worst that can happen? And am I okay if the worst happens? Because this time around, I have to be willing to face the worst because there's no turning back. And so did you do that for your own kind of mindset when you started Venture FC? Did you kind of say, I am so committed to this that if the worst happens, I'm okay with it?
Yeah, yeah. And the worst thing that could happen is I'm going back to corporate world, period. But the knowledge I will gather during this time, it will be more valuable than spending another year or 2 or 3 in corporate world. And with that mindset, I'm free to test our ideas and to think out of the box, not thinking too much conservative. That's what really pushes an idea. In every startup, I think it's the same. Yeah, but we are on the same page here. Yeah, definitely.
Tazvir, how about yourself? How do you feel about this conversation?
The way I looked at it was, I think a comment I said earlier is that this is the closest that we'll ever get to the pitch, the soccer pitch, and I'm a huge soccer fanatic. And this is like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Like, this has never really come around, and the timing is absolutely perfect for where this goes. So the benefits of what we're trying to do and the change that we're trying to make, it really oversees like what I'm giving up on it. The opportunity costs are minimal in this case.
Oh yeah, no, you guys are on the cutting edge, and you know, I mean, crowdfunding became a more searched term than venture capital. So I mean, you know, the thing is the momentum is so strong that this isn't a fad anymore. It's coming, it's here, and so it's just going to continue to grow. But I guess we have about 10 minutes left, so I'm going to ask you guys to give me some predictions of where you see crowdfunding going in the next 5 to 10 years. You could talk about the sports side of it, or you could just talk about it broadly. But I guess I'll start with you, Tazvir. Where do you see the crowdfunding movement going in the next 5 to 10 years in your eyes?
So specifically in football, I believe I said it earlier that I think it's going to grow, and I believe that because of in Europe they just passed financial fair play. So what that essentially puts on European teams is that they have to limit the amount that they spend on new players based on their revenue. So now they just can't spend any amount of money without actually making money. So that means that they still need new players to come fill in their talent gaps, but now they can't spend as much. So how do they not spend as much? They buy players with third-party options on them. That allows them to take a smaller financial hit against their revenues, and they can actually now afford new players. So with that coming along, it's going to be a really interesting domino effect where this is going to be the go-to option for most clubs in Europe. And in terms of like crowdfunding in general, it's going crazy. Like I think on the news, you heard about $40,000 for the potato salad on Kickstarter.
Yeah, yeah.
That was ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Like it's ridiculous amount of money for a potato salad. And one of the coolest ones I've actually saw was on a LinkedIn group. A company was trying to sell insect-based chips. So I thought about it. I was like, that's disgusting. I don't want to eat cricket chips. But then I went and Googled their Kickstarter campaign. They tried to raise $30,000. They actually raised $75,000. So what is that? So my initial reaction was there's no way that's gonna work, and that's what most if you went to a bank, that's what they would say. Even if you had the best business plan on the world, they would say, no, you're ridiculous. But no, they went on Kickstarter and proved that people were willing to pay for this product. So instead of actually going and making a business plan and surveying whether or not people actually want the product, you can actually have people willing to pay for the product. So the testing has now gotten even faster.
That's amazing, Tazveer. You know, the only thing that I thought of when you said insect-based chips was, you know, what was that? Indiana Jones. A scene in Indiana Jones is what I keep thinking of, like Raiders of the Lost Ark or whatever.
Yeah.
makes me sick.
The chips were like, I think one of them was cricket. Like they would like have cricket-based chips, and I was like, that's not happening. But people are paying for it. $70,000. It's crazy.
I'd imagine that was popular out in the Asian cultures, because I do believe, I mean, I've seen some cooking shows where people do eat insects. So I wonder if that was where their demographic was. But that's very interesting.
Yeah, without a doubt. And they had some numbers on their website. They said like 2.5 billion people have eaten food with insects in them, like insect-based food. And I was like, wow, the market's actually bigger than what we normally would think it would be.
It's amazing. You guys should secure the economic rights of cockroaches and make them fight each other.
Yeah.
Just joking. But
we'd be billionaires.
Exactly. But so Hugo, same question. Where do you see the football, the crowdfunding in football going, and then the overall industry in 5 to 10 years from now?
In football, I can only see we have several startups working in football, choosing crowdfunding to get their work on the users to use them. We have Jogabo. That's a startup that is going to revolutionize the way you play soccer with your friends. You can arrange matches only with your iPhone or Android. And they made a crowdfunding campaign 6 months ago, I guess. And you have Tifosi. It's a crowdfunding platform for clubs. Either they want a new training facility or a new locker room. They can crowdfund their way. So I think crowdfunding is slowly taking a share on the investment firms or the banks. And that's the beauty of it. Everyone can make a difference when they set a goal. They have people lining up with the same goal. We have the social crowdfunding that it's doing a tremendous job in Africa or Latin America. By the way, we really want to make a stand where in social crowdfunding. We want to help other people to raise money for their NGOs, especially those that use football to get children out of poverty, out of the extreme environments. We want, and this is almost like a pledge. We will help some that NGOs to help people, especially kids, using football out of that environments. I'm in Portugal. Taz is in Canada. You're in the US. And if there's a crowdfunding campaign that we love, we can make a difference and make that project real. I think it's wonderful what's happening with crowdfunding, either in sports or in any sector or market or whatever. And I'm really excited about this space. Crowdfunding is really going to disrupt everything we know from years from now.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right, and it is a global phenomenon. Anywhere you go, every single country is talking about crowdfunding. You know, whether it's in Portugal, whether it's Canada, the U.S., even the Arab world. Believe it or not, the Arab world is actually one of the larger areas where they really like crowdfunding, because in that culture, they can't necessarily earn an interest rate on some sort of loan or an investment, but they could certainly give money to people who are in need, you know, and really help people. So crowdfunding is going to be a big way that the Arab world helps their situations out as well. So it's really going to be a very interesting transformation that the world's going through. So we have 3 minutes left. So just kind of give us a last word as far as how everyone can find us. And since Tazvir is the marketing guy, I'll let you do that. Tell us where everyone can find your company.
Awesome. If you haven't already, please come check out our website. It's venturefc.co, no m.co, co. And then if you want to have conversations with us, you can always find us on our emails. It's hugo@venturefc.co, tazvir@venturefc.co, and then our Twitter handle, where all the action is happening. We're sharing great articles all the time. It's Venture FC Team. So come, please check us out.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, gentlemen, thank you both very much for joining us this evening. You guys have educated me on athletics. You guys have educated me on how the economic rights work and how this has been dominated by a very wealthy class, and now you're democratizing it. VentureFC.co. Gentlemen, thanks again for being on.
Thank you again, Manolis.
Yeah, my pleasure. And to the viewers, without you watching, we couldn't have this show, so thank you all for watching as well. We look forward to having our next episode this Thursday at our regularly scheduled time, 8 p.m. Eastern. The topic will be real estate crowdfunding with real estate crowdfunding platform Patch of Land. So until next time, dream it, believe it, achieve it. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.